Subscribe to Chug Chow wherever you get your podcasts or visit chugandchow.com.
All right, fellow flavor seekers, I welcome you to Chug Chow. This is the podcast that takes your taste buds off that beaten path. I'm Todd Newton, author of the book Chug Chow, the Tattooed Traveler's 50 favorite dive bars and food joints across America. And every week, we're rolling down back roads and ducking into those unforgettable eateries and lively watering holes that locals swear by. From taverns with stories etched into their walls to mom and pop diners serving up recipes passed down for generations, this podcast and the book upon which it is based is your passport to the places that put soul into every sip and into every bite. So buckle up, loosen your belt, and let's make your next road trip or vacation a feast for the senses, shall we? On this episode, we're heading to Wheeling, West Virginia, and the famous Coleman's Fish Market for that filleted fish sandwich that has had people talking for over a century. Wheeling, West Virginia was established in 1795. It holds the remarkable distinction of being the birthplace of West Virginia itself. During the Civil War, this Ohio River city hosted the historic Wheeling Conventions that led to West Virginia's separation from Virginia in 1863, with Wheeling serving as the new state's capital twice, from 1863 to 1870, and again from 1875 to 1885. The city's strategic location as the western terminus of the Cumberland Road and arrival point of the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad in the mid-19th century transformed it into a bustling gateway to the American frontier, where steamboats and stagecoaches and rail lines converged. Within this tapestry of American history stands Coleman's Fish Market, a culinary institution that has weathered a full century of change. Founded by John Coleman in 1914 in Wheeling's Old City Market, which itself dates back to 1890, the humble fish stand has evolved into what many consider a living legend of American gastronomy. Coleman's moved to its current location in the historic Center Market District in 1946, where it has continued to serve its famous hand-filleted fish sandwiches from within the beautifully renovated Iron Pavilion. The restaurant's reputation extends far beyond West Virginia's borders. Gourmet magazine honored Coleman's in its June 2001 issue with the bold declaration, quote, "A visit to the Mountain State leads to a surprising discovery, the country's best fish sandwich, tartar sauce not included," end quote. This acclaim reflects the market's unwavering commitment to simplicity and quality, serving fresh fish on fluffy white bread. That's it, wrapped in wax paper with no pretensions beyond doing simple things exceptionally well. Today, the third generation carries on the family tradition. Joe Coleman, grandson of founder John, never intended to join the family business. After serving in the Navy with plans to become an engineer or a contractor, he agreed to work just 1 year for his father Ray before heading off to college. That single year stretched into a lifetime of dedication. Under Joe's stewardship, Coleman's produces over 1,000 fish sandwiches every day, with Friday production soaring to 2,500, numbers that more than double during the first week of Lent. I've enjoyed one of those sandwiches. I loved unwrapping the wax paper and just looking at a big fillet of fish tucked between two pieces of white bread. As I sat at one of the communal tables beneath the historic iron beams of Center Market, surrounded by the aromatic steam of fresh fried fish and the animated conversations of locals and tourists alike. As I took that first bite, I was reminded that some traditions transcend mere commerce. Coleman's represents something increasingly rare, a family business that has remained authentically itself while serving its community with quiet pride for well over a century. Joe, I know you consider Coleman's Fish Market to be more a fish market than a restaurant, but that sandwich really is something, and people know it from coast to coast. Can you give me a little history on the market and the restaurant?
Yeah, my grandfather started in 1914, and he was actually originally selling live chickens and chicken eggs, and he transferred from that to fish. And I think the original fish came over on horse and wagon from Baltimore, probably sold it down. I don't know that for a fact, but back then refrigeration wasn't too good. So, but anyway, that's the way it all got started. And he went through the 1918 pandemic, and he did not leave me any information on how to do the one we had 5 years ago. So we went through our second one.
There wasn't anything in the family business manual about that, huh? He just kind of let you navigate those waters.
He did. He didn't tell me how they handled that.
Now, are there other Colemans involved in the day-to-day operations of the business?
Yeah, actually, I'm the third generation, and then I have my daughter working here, who is the fourth generation, and then my granddaughter at 14 and a half just started here a couple of months ago under special permit from schools, working part-time, so that's the fifth generation.
Now, when your grandfather switched over to fish from the chickens there, did he ever intend for it to become a restaurant at all, or was it always going to be kind of a grab-and-go fish market? Because I would have to imagine if he could see the line of people that forms every day for that fish sandwich, he'd be pretty proud of that.
Oh, well, actually, originally it was strictly fish market, and back then, it was whole fish, not filleted fish was primarily being sold because people just, nothing was really filleted, just buy the whole fish and cook it. And then he used to bring live turtles and have a turtle tank in there, and then my grandfather liked to cook, so after the end of World War II in 1946, my dad came out of the Marine Corps after the war, and my grandfather decided, since he liked to cook this, let's start cutting these things into some sandwiches and doing some fried fish. So the sandwiches actually didn't start till 46.
46. I mentioned at the top of the episode the simplicity of the sandwich. A couple slices of white bread and a big old fried fillet of fish there. It doesn't get much better than that. There's not even tartar sauce on it, and unless you put it on there yourself. The simplicity is part of the charm. I think that in addition to the quality of the fish that people are eating, the size of that fillet, it's the plainness that makes it so appealing. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, because that's what we're trying to do is just see how good we can be at being simple. We try, don't overdo it, nothing fancy, but just do a good job of what we do. And that includes we still, as long as we can get it, we're always using fresh fish, and we bring it in 3 times a week, and then also over the years we've evolved with cooking methods, better fryers, and then 1996 we were actually the first food place in the country to actually use trans fat-free oils. So we started it with Cargill Foods out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. So we were the first, because I was doing, back at the time I was doing research on cooking oils because there was a lot of stuff about the dangers of fried food. So I decided, let's see how good we can get. So I was getting the oil tested out at Silica Laboratories at Ohio State, and we came up with canola oils being the best. And then one thing, but that was so hydrogenated, but then that evolved with Cargill. They were trying to sell some oil, and they said, well, we have a better oil coming down the road. It's trans fat free. So I was part of the initial. We got part of the initial concept of when they were growing the first seeds, and it actually started here. So
I didn't know that. but I think it is a key component in any family-run business and something that gets overlooked sometimes. When you're third, fourth, fifth generation, you can't just sit back and rest on your laurels. There's constant progression and evolution and technology that goes into maintaining and growing a business. You always have to be on your toes. That's really interesting information. Joe, I lived in Boston, not far from the water, for quite a while. I knew quite a few gentlemen that worked in the fishing industry. From them, I heard interesting stories on how tough of a gig that could be. I've never spoken with anyone who's on the restaurant side, the receiving side of that fish. I would imagine your work starts before the sun comes up, right? I'm imagining men and women in white aprons at the break of dawn receiving these fish to keep them as fresh and as cold as possible, preparing them to serve. Can you run me through that?
Well, what we do is, our primary source of like the fresh North Atlantic fish is out of Boston, but that could be, what's being caught off of Boston. That could be caught, from the Nova Scotia side of it being trucked down to Boston. We also get fresh fish flown from Iceland, just a 5-hour flight from Iceland to Boston. And so there's multiple sources, and I deal with a few different dealers up there, and they got their connections, and I always give them projections of what we're looking for. And I just placed some orders this morning, which will be here tomorrow. So, that's the way the process goes, except for like Friday, which is 4th, so there'll be no fish coming in Saturday, so we'll have to carry that over until Monday morning again. But there's, on seafood itself, if you know how to keep it well chilled, and if you buy day boat stuff that just caught, it'll last. It'll be fine.
Gotcha.
So you just got to know what to do with it.
Yeah. And I know you said you're third generation. I bet spending all those years at the fish market, you probably have second, third, fourth generation customers coming in as well. A lot of familiar faces over the years, yeah?
Oh, we do, yeah. Yeah, lots of people, and they can remember when the sandwiches were, when I took over from my dad, they were 45 cents a sandwich, and I had to raise them to 48, and I wonder if people would be willing to pay the price for it, 48 cents. But I can remember people coming in, they're older than I am. I'm in my mid-70s, but they would come in, and, they're 10 years older than me, and I said, remember when we get sandwiches for a quarter? So yes.
The good old days. Good old days.
Good old days. We just didn't know it, that's all.
So true. Hey, before I let you go, Joe, is that real neat old used bookstore? I think it's called the Paradox Bookstore. Is that still open right next door to you there?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Oh, good. I like that place. They're open whenever they want to be open. It's one of those kinds of places. A lot of character, much like you would find at Coleman's Fish Market. They're open every day except Sunday till about 5:30 or 6. They open mid-morning there, 9:30. You can check their website, colemansfishmarket.com. Market is MKT, colemansfishmarket.com. Joe Coleman, I thank you so much for your time. Hope to get back to Wheeling soon for one of those fish sandwiches.
Yeah, introduce yourself, okay?
Yes, sir, I will. Thank you, Joe Coleman of Coleman's Fish Market. Nice fella. Hey, thank you very much for joining me here on another delicious adventure with Chug and Chow. If you loved this episode, please do subscribe to the podcast. Write us a little 1, 2, 3 sentence review and throw us 5 stars if you would. Share the show with your fellow foodies and your fellow travelers. And if you would like to bring even more flavor to your journeys, I invite you to order a copy of Chug and Chow, the Tattooed Traveler's 50 favorite dive bars and food joints across America. It is available in paperback and in ebook form. You can get it on Amazon or at chugandchow.com. Every purchase provides 10 meals for families in need. We thank you for that. Your appetite for adventure can make a real difference. Until next time, I'm Todd Newton. Keep chugging, keep chowing, and keep discovering the stories behind every plate and every pint.
Chug and Chow is produced by the host with the most LLC. All rights reserved.